Hi, this is Rudy Jones of HamiltonStateBaseball.com. Welcome to the South Carolina College Baseball recap for Tuesday, March 17th. There were 10 games played in the state or involving state teams on Tuesday. There were several other games that were postponed or canceled because of weather concerns. Let's get to what did happen. In the game that finished latest, Winthrop scored 6 runs in the final 2 innings and beat Pacific 8-2 to extend its winning streak to 5 games. The Eagles scored 2 runs in the first. Pacific scored 2 in the bottom of the inning. Then in the 8th, Alan Benhart had a RBI triple to score Corey Waters and put the Eagles ahead. They had 3 consecutive 2-out RBI singles in the 9th as they put up 5 runs. And again, they held on to win by a score of 8-2. Winthrop improved to 15-6. As I said, they won 5 straight games. For the Eagles, Benhart had 3 RBI. And Mason Tompkins out of Blue Ridge High went 5 2/3 innings of shutout relief and struck out 3 during that time. Nice win for Winthrop. They're on the West Coast for 3 more games. They'll be playing Sacramento State for single games on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Elsewhere, down in Charleston, or actually Mount Pleasant, Nate Savoie homered twice and accounted for all 3 Clemson runs as the Tigers beat College of Charleston 3-1 in front of a Patriots point record crowd of 1,680 fans. Tigers are now 17-4, having won 2 straight. The College fell to 9-11. Freshman Dylan Harrison started for the Tigers. He allowed 3 hits and a run in 4 innings, and Noah Small came in and pitched 3 2/3 innings to get the win. 3 hits, no runs scored, and 6 strikeouts. Nice win for the Tigers. Down in Columbia, South Carolina hit another low. They lost to Charlotte by the score of 13-8. Carolina had a 4-0 lead. Charlotte cut it back to 4-2, then to 4-3. And what would have been the 3rd out of the 5th inning became a drop pop-up, and Charlotte went on to score 6 more runs in that inning, and 6 of them unearned, a 7-run inning, and went ahead 9-5. The inning was capped by a grand slam by Tyler Hudson, who went to River Bluff High, not too far from Columbia. Then the Gamecocks got back within a run. Charlotte scored some more runs to make that final margin of 11-8. Charlotte is now 14-6. USC is 12-10. They've lost 5 straight. Will Craddock had 3 hits, including a home run, but he also had one of Carolina's errors. USC pitchers walked 11, hit 2 batters, and threw 2 wild pitches, and then again 8 unearned runs total. Things are really not going well in Columbia right now. If you see any photos of the crowd, it looks like the staff may have outnumbered the people who were there to watch it as fans. Last week I was in Charleston for the Citadel game, and after the 8th inning, or after USC batted in the 8th inning, a fan who was probably pretty well lubricated went down and started yelling at Gamecocks coach Paul Maneri for about probably 25 or 30 seconds. Somebody told him to shut up, and he finally left. But right now, I don't know if there's anybody that cares enough to holler about that for the Gamecocks. There really seems to be a lot of apathy and disappointment. Personally, unless something changes, I don't see them winning 20 games this year, and they've already won 12, and there's 40 games left. No, excuse me, 44 games left. Anyway, the Gamecocks are really, really struggling. I don't know what it is, what's going to get them out of it, if anything does. But again, they've got to get better pitching, better defense. This is at least the 3rd game they've made 4 or more errors that I can remember. Anyway, on to more positive things for some folks. Charleston Southern was down 3-0 and rallied to beat North Florida by a score of 11-6 down in Charleston. Lucas Pringle was 3 for 5 with 2 runs scored, and also gotta find his name. Sorry, Alex Barat had 2 doubles and a single and drove in 3 runs for the Buccaneers, who are now 14-6. North Florida fell to 10-12. Down in Clinton, Wofford beat Presbyterian by a score of 9-2. The Terriers got 3 hits from Logan Tribble. He also stole 2 bases and scored a run. And Hunter Herndon had 2 hits and drove in 5 runs for the Terriers, who are now 14-8. PC fell to 4-18. Tough day for the Citadel down in Athens, Georgia. Bulldogs were up 5-0 going into the bottom of the 7th inning. Colby Branch hit a home run to lead off the inning. They got a solo homer later in the inning to make it 5-2. They got 3 runs in the 8th to tie the score, and then in the bottom of the 9th, Branch came up with 2 runners on and hit one way out into left field to give the Bulldogs of Georgia a walk-off win by a score of 8-5. Georgia, which is ranked number 7 in the country by D1Baseball.com, is now 18-4. The Citadel fell to 8-10. For the Bulldogs of the Citadel, Lane Tobin had a single, a double, 2 stolen bases, a run scored, and an RBI. In Greenwood, North Greenville scored 6 runs in the 6th inning, and Lane Magaha hit a grand slam in the 5th as the Trailblazers beat Lander by a score of 14-4. North Greenville is now 21-6. Lander fell to 16-11. Josh Folks doubled, homered, walked twice, scored 4 runs, and drove in 2 runs for North Greenville. In Due West, Cole Savage singled twice and hit a 3-run homer, and 9 Erskine pitchers combined for 11 strikeouts as the Flying Fleet beat USC Beaufort by a score of 14-3. Erskine is now 12-17. USC Beaufort fell to 4-21. They've lost 12 straight games. For Erskine, Marion McManus was 2 for 3 with a walk, 2 runs scored, and an RBI. In Wingate, North Carolina, Wingate parlayed 15 hits, 11 walks, and 3 Francis Marion errors into a come-from-behind win over the Patriots by a score of 21-9. Francis Marion jumped out to an early lead. They were still leading 4-2 going in the bottom of the 6th when the Wingate offense erupted. For Wingate, Jake Corville and Gavin Graposo drove in 5 runs apiece. Wingate's now 22-5. Francis Marion fell to 21-6. Charlie Bussey had a home run, drove in 3 runs for Winthrop. For Francis Marion. In Central, Miles Denton had 3 hits and 3 teammates had 2 apiece, and Anderson survived a late rally by Southern Wesleyan to win that game by a score of 9-6. The Trojans, who broke a losing streak from last week, they got swept up at Lenore Ryan. They are now 16-11. Southern Wesleyan fell to 9-19. Also on Tuesday, looking for it. That is it. Sorry about that. I just kind of jumped up and around as far as which games to get to, and I want to make sure I didn't miss one, and I did not. Several games, as I said, were changed. The Spartanburg Methodist Milligan game was moved to Wednesday because of weather. Claflin and Toccoa Falls are moving their game to April the 14th. These games were canceled according to the information I have. Lackawanna at Denmark Tech for a doubleheader. They also were scheduled to play tomorrow and it's canceled. Truett McConnell at Bob Jones. Voorhees at Payne for a doubleheader. And what the information I have is Morehouse at Morris for a doubleheader was postponed. On Wednesday, the scheduled games. Brunswick Community College at USC Sumter at 1 o'clock, doubleheader. And again, we're going chronological order. USC Salkehatchie is supposed to play South Georgia at 2. Embry-Riddle is at USC Beaufort at 3. Robeson Community College is at Florence Darlington Tech at 3. USC Upstate is at Charlotte at 4. That game was moved from later in the day because of weather concerns. Spartanburg Methodist is at Milligan at 3. Newberry is at USC Aiken at 5. North Greenville and North Georgia meet at 5 o'clock in Dahlonega. That ought to be a great matchup. North Georgia is, I believe they're 21-5 or 22-5. Coached by former South Carolina pitcher Nolan Belcher. And, of course, we know how good North Greenville is. The Young Harris JVs play Southern Wesleyan's JVs at 5 o'clock for a doubleheader in Central. Coastal Carolina is at Campbell at 6. The Campbells are coming off a 13-3 run rule win over Duke in Bowie's Creek tonight, or Tuesday night. And in the final game of the day, Clemson's at the Citadel at 7 o'clock as they continue their 2-day stay in Charleston. I appreciate you staying up or getting up to see this. I always try to give you updates on what's going on my X account of Palmetto Base. You can follow what's going on in the state at PalmettoStateBaseball.com. Please email me at rudyjones at PalmettoStateBaseball.com if you would like to see me write something else, and let your friends know about PalmettoStateBaseball.com. Again, this is Rudy Jones saying good night. Jesus loves you.